Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you can hear a little grunty pigletty noise, it's just my little chihuahua Phoebe. She will not stop grunting around my feet and I had nowhere else to film this today, so yeah, welcome to my highly professional channel. So this is a very overdue video, and this is the follow-up to my eyelash, how to create your own eyelash brand video that I cannot believe reached the views that it did. I literally filmed that completely off the cuff, which now it's quite obvious that I did because of the amount of questions that I had. Don't get me wrong, I had so much love from a lot of people saying how helpful they found it. I also had a lot of hate because surprisingly people don't like it when you don't hand them everything on a plate, and I say that trying as being as nice as I can because I got some nasty people having a real pop at me for not telling them who my supplier was, and to me I found that really crazy because I would never go into a retailer or imagine just driving through McDonald's and being like, oh, I love your chips, can I ask where you get them from so I can, you know, make them at home and maybe start my own franchise one day. I just found it all a bit weird, and I'm not a horrible person. I want to help, which is why I make these videos, but at the same time, the clue is in the name. It's a business, and I think it would be really detrimental to give you all the supply that I used, because then you'd all end up with the same pricing structure and products, and therefore all competition would kind of just be, well, the same. And also, like, I tried really hard and put a lot of research into where I got my lashes from, and I feel like if you have a real passion for what you want to create, and you know, it's your own brand at the end of the day, this is your brand that you've created from scratch, so I feel like that is the exciting part. I feel like that is the bit that you should like really, I mean God, I found it frustrating, don't get me wrong, when I would reach like dead ends all the time, but it was part of it, and I knew that if I could be bothered to search and trawl through all of the companies, that it was something that I actually wanted to do. So hopefully, oh God, that was a bit close. Hopefully that's not too ranty, and hopefully you can learn a little bit more from this. I just want to open this by saying I'm really entrepreneurial, and a lot of people have asked lots of questions about, oh, I can't get to your link anymore. That's because I completely sold out of my lashes and I decided not to continue with them. So I'm going to do my best to answer all the questions. I've got my little book, which is upside down, 100% professional. And I'm going to try and answer some of the questions that you asked, or some of the points that I think would be really helpful. And like I say, I am really entrepreneurial, so I've actually got another business now. And I really enjoy setting up businesses. I find it the most interesting part of the whole process. And I've been lucky with the businesses that I've done that each one of them has taken off, and it's been me that has decided to stop rather than thinking, oh my God, this isn't selling, what a flop. So hopefully I can give good advice because, like I say, I haven't had anything sort of flop. So therefore I feel like I'm giving sound advice. But we're 4 minutes in now and I've just blabbed. So moving on to some of your questions and to some of the things that I think could help. And I will also tell you why I decided not to carry on. But first, because the link doesn't work, I just thought, now I said I sold out, I kept like one of each style, stuttering now, because I don't know, like, this sounds really sad, but I kind of feel like it was an achievement, something that I created from completely the ground up, and I just want to keep them in a memory box. So this is my brand. So I went, I'm such a millennial, I went with marble and gold and brush script type. So yeah, this is them, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about them, and like I say, why I decided to give up. But they're in a memory box now, a story that I can tell children one day that I actually did do something quite cool. Yeah, they can maybe watch this video and see that I tried. So the number one question, like I say, some people were really polite about this, some people not so, was who is your supplier? And I'm still not going to give you the name because, like I said previously, I don't think it would be very helpful for you all to like rush over and use the same supplier. And also, like I say, I feel like part of the fun of your own business is finding it. But I'm going to give you some of the names and some of the things that I popped in to search, which eventually led me to this person. So I think I mentioned in my last video, it started on AliExpress, started on Alibaba. In my opinion, don't hate me if your business has done extremely well with this, useless, pointless. Really long delivery times, really basic, terrible quality lashes. If you're looking to sell your lashes at sort of like £1 to £2, you might just get away with it. There could be that sort of budget lash, but I was really set on making mine premium. So the things I searched for were, and don't get me wrong, these aren't all the right things, but they led me to the right place. So private label, black label, white label, design your own lashes, what was it, cruelty-free lash line, what was the other one that I said, bespoke lashes, customizable lashes, all these words. But I also learnt very quickly to put China. When I put China, I was coming up with actually things that were affordable, because a lot of the companies that I was getting were US based, and America, for me, I know the import taxes were really high, and the actual cost unit for the amount of money I had to spend, it was just not working out. So I focused my attention on China and it paid off. So maybe that will help you. So on to why I decided to close my lash line, and maybe why some of the mistakes I can, you know, stop you from making, or just some advice, is I only had, and I think I mentioned this in my previous video, I only had an investment of £1,000. That might seem really stupid, but to me, that was all I was willing to risk. At the time that I did my lash line, there were very few people doing it. When I came up with the idea and my concept and what I wanted to do, there wasn't really, apart from like the massive companies, there wasn't really any sort of like indie brands doing it. So I thought, oh my God, this is so unique. And I kind of had no benchmark to see how well these people were doing. So I invested £1,000, and by no means am I rich, and I don't like to take massive risks, which might make me a bad businesswoman, I don't know. But basically, I was willing to put £1,000 in the pot, give it a go. But the problem is, when you only have a small investment, the cost per unit is very high still. So that meant that I had to charge X amount for my lashes. Now my lashes went up, I think they started at 6, and then the most expensive ones were 10. The most expensive ones were double lash, they were human hair, so I felt like, well, I knew that it was good value for money because I wasn't getting them like that much cheaper. I think it was like a 30% markup, which I was happy with. So yeah, I basically only had that amount of money to pump in, and in that £1,000 that also included samples, and it also included the design manufacturing, so the boxes, because another question I get is who did your boxes? Well, the company that I went with did the whole thing, and that was quite appealing to me because, again, I did my research, and in the UK print is really expensive and it was just going to cost me a fortune. Lots of people asked me who designed my boxes, and the answer to that was I've got 2 amazing friends that work in design and they designed it for me. So I was quite lucky. But again, you will pay more if you want gold. You will pay more for, basically you get a catalogue of all different boxes that you can have. So I'm just going off on a tangent here. I'm just remembering all the questions as I'm going. So where was I? So yeah, basically the reason I was unable to carry on was, as soon as I launched my line, it was like, it's like that analogy of when you buy a Mini Cooper, you then see a million Mini Coopers on the road. And that's what happened. Unfortunately, I took my sweet time And when I came to market with mine, loads of companies like just crept out of the woodwork, and unfortunately they were using mink and they were a lot cheaper than me because of that. So I felt like I couldn't compete, and I felt like I'd entered a market where I wanted people to care about not using animal fur and it being ethical, but then a lot of those girls don't really wear lashes, and that's not to typecast, but it's just looking at your market. And it was a little bit of a mistake. Tried to be, you know, eco warrior and you know, good and it just didn't pay for business. But I am pleased to confirm I made a profit. I made all my money back and some, and like I say, I get to keep one of each style so that I can't forget my experience. So I was happy. I didn't want to make a loss. If I'd have made a loss, I think I would have kept going because I don't like defeat. But I thought, well, you know what, it was a fun project. I made my money back very easily because I'm a makeup artist, and I would be able to tag them on to this, you know, to the end of the treatment, and they'd be like, oh, can, you know, they would buy my lashes and I would pop them on for them. So yeah, it was really, really easy, and there was a link on my makeup page to it. So it just felt like very natural. I didn't have to push. Sorry, dying here. I didn't have to push the sales, which I'm so grateful for because I'm really not a salesperson at all. Sorry, I had to change battery packs. And so yeah, would I recommend starting a lash line in today's climate? I don't know. If you have a larger pot of money than I had, yes, I think you could get a much better cost per unit. Therefore, you'd be able to charge less and you'd probably seem a lot more competitive. But for me, it just didn't. You know, I was lucky that I had the audience there already. I think if I didn't have that audience, it would have been quite difficult to shift them. But yeah, glad I did it, and I do think it, you know, if you choose the right supplier and if you are able to get them cheap enough, then it can work for sure. A lot of you that have messaged me are just sort of mums that want to make some extra income and stuff, which I think is fantastic, and it is a really good sideline. It doesn't take much management. Like, I would just get orders and it's so easy to package up. I'd slip it into a bubble wrap jiffy and out they went. It was, you know, it was easy as such. But like I say, there were bigger companies than me that were doing much cheaper. And now a lot of the hate that I had, which really upset me actually, were people calling me an idiot because I not know that mink is actually not an animal, it's synthetic. I am also a lash technician, and I know there is something called false mink. Now, false mink is a very lightweight plastic. Trust me, I would not talk about something on this channel, giving advice, if I hadn't fully looked into it. I can promise you that. I didn't want to link videos of real mink eyelashes being made because it would traumatize people. It traumatized me. I cry watching Blackfish. You know, I didn't want to do that. And so, like, one girl was vile to me, calling me all names under the sun, and I don't really know where the hate comes from. But I can promise you, if you would like me to send you links, I will send you it. I'm not trying to, you know, make people feel bad. If you want to wear real mink, then you wear real mink. But it was just something that I mentioned in my video that I didn't want to do, and I got so much hate for it. So again, whether real hair or synthetic is better, I'm not going to pass judgment on what you decide to do for your business. But yeah, I had a lot of hate for that. I'm trying to think of some of the other questions now. 1 minute, I'm gonna get my phone. So I just had another look on my phone, and a lot of you asked about, did I have to pay for samples? I think I just touched on this, but I'll just clarify again. I did have to pay for samples, and it wasn't like a good price. It was quite expensive, and you also have to pay for the postage to get them over here. Now, a lot of these companies use FedEx, and FedEx is really quick service but really expensive. So yeah, it cost me a pretty penny just to get the samples, and there was kind of no guarantee that I would like it. But yeah, I'm gonna try, if I can, some of the emails that went back and forth, if I can find any, just so that you know what sort of questions to ask. I'll try and insert them if I can find them. Obviously I'll blank out who they were. But like I say, if you can, a lot of these companies, when you Google them, they will say that they're just like, these are the lashes you get and you just have to put your name on them. If you get speaking to somebody and build up a really good relationship like I did, I then was a bit cheeky and I was like, I don't want to use any of your stock lashes. Can I make slight amendments? And he was really accommodating. But again, I don't know whether that's because at the start there wasn't really tons of people doing it. Maybe now they're so inundated. I know it sounds awful, but it'll probably be like, we've got enough business, we don't really care. I know that's awful, but I'm just thinking how they might be thinking. Whereas I think at the time when I was doing mine, maybe they're a bit grateful for it. I don't know, because he was really accommodating and really lovely and spoke fantastic English, which I really did struggle with at the beginning. But I will try and link as many things below. Like I say, I didn't expect the last video to be quite so popular, so therefore I don't think I was like prepared as much as I could have been, and maybe didn't give you as much information as I could have. But saying that, we're all learning, like we're all here learning, and like I say, I didn't do a bad job. I made, you know, I put in £1,000 and I made close to 2,000, and I was so happy with that. So yeah, I guess I can give advice on how to create something that will make you money, but I would just say test the market, test the waters. That's what I did before I decided to start my own line. Because I had that base from my makeup like community on Instagram, I put a little, like loads of stories out asking them, you know, what do you think if I started selling lashes, would you purchase? How much would you be expecting to pay per lash? Not per single lash, per like pack. Another thing that I thought about doing, which might help you guys, and it was something that they were really, really interested in, are subscription boxes. So every month they would receive like different styles of lashes. That could be something that you could take and run with, because it's a bit different. I don't think many people are doing, or anyone. So there's that idea. It's just trying to think, how can you bring something different to the market, because it is really saturated at the minute, and I'd hate for any of you to go out there and to pump all of the money that you have into it only for it to sort of flop. Because the thing is with me, I didn't feel like it was very risky, because I thought, you know what, if it goes wrong, I've basically just given myself like 2-3 years worth of lashes to use on my clients. To me, it wasn't going to be like, oh my goodness, this is dead money. I would be able to use it in some way, shape or form. So like I say, analyze the risks, really know your market, because I went into it, you know, really organized, and then the market changed as I released mine. So as organized as you can be, and you know, order from competitors, order from people that you admire. If there's a brand company you think, oh, I'd love to be like them, I mean, I am not telling you to steal their concept, because there is nothing worse in this life than taking somebody else's idea and, you know, trying to pass it off as your own. But, you know, market research is key. Feel the quality of other people's lashes, feel the quality of their packaging. Take the lashes and think, this is what I do like, this is what I don't like about it. Like I say, you will get, most companies that do lashes, they will supply you with a catalogue, and you'll be able to choose your box style. Some of them will come with the little point of sale sort of tabs on them, so you could hang them up. It all depends on what you want. Some are more expensive. These were a fairly cheap option because they're quite standard, but I know that there's a lot of packaging where you can have like 3 or 4 in like a clam design. It all depends what you want. But I think I'm just going to check the comments one more time. Oh, somebody said I keep getting scammed by vendors. See, the vendor I used, I was really lucky because he does a lot of like the big arenas, you know, when they go and, oh, I can't think of what the word is, I so know what it is, but where they basically set up and they, you know, sell, and they're proper legit. I would never pass any money. And what I would always say is use PayPal, because PayPal are really good at protecting your money. please, please, please do not pass anything across, like wire it when you can't trust the company, because you've really got nothing to come back on, and someone's handshake or word is not worth, you know, thousands of pounds that you could be potentially losing. So yeah, make sure that you properly look into it. And a lot of the websites that I went on to, they had examples of their work, which is quite funny actually, because I could, because I'm really in the know of lashes, I love lashes, and you could actually see whose brand just uses standard black label, like they don't even design them themselves. So I could just tell by the style of the packaging, even though they'd erased the name out. So they had like a client list, so you could see that they're legit, but still. So someone has asked, you know, the most lashes come with the clear sticky base that keeps them attached to the package. How did you get your lashes to stick to the package? Well, I just used a little dot of, when I was doing my samples and things, a little dot of the Duo Lash glue, and it sticks it no problem. But when I then finally, you know, came to order, because I ordered 2 lots. So the first quantity that I ordered was only about £200 worth, and then the second, that was the one that I had to hand stick each one, like it was not fun. And then the second lot that came, because it was bigger quantities, they could actually attach them to the tray for me, so happy days. But yeah, a little bit of Duo Lash glue on each, little dot on each one will do you like easy. You don't need to use that sticky, and in fact I hate that sticky glue that comes with the lash. I don't know what it is, and it freaks me out. Another question is, how did I contact the vendors? Just by email. There's usually, on these websites, there's usually like 4 or 5 names that you can contact, and it normally will say like for UK, for USA, for China, for da-da-da. So yeah, there's just like a list of contacts that will help you out. I think my friend's here and I'm sat here filming a video. 1 second. I'm going to wrap it up there, because I think I've answered all your questions. Let me know in the comments. Please don't be mean. I really can't take another bashing like the last time. I think I've tried to be as helpful as possible, but let me know if you've got any more questions that are constructive, and I will try and help as much as I can. I've already had a few of you contact me on my private Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and whilst I'm always happy to help, I don't always see those messages because I turn my notifications off, because Facebook is the devil. So hopefully I'll see you in my next video, and thank you so much for watching, and good luck if you do decide to set up your own lash line, and leave me a link. I'd love to check it out. Bye.